Today we're going to talk about some news that's coming out of Utah. A major blow was dealt to Utah Republicans. So a judge in a court just found there that what they did, which is basically gerrymandering, was illegal. And this judge said that they basically have to redraw the maps before 2026. Now, remember, this whole gerrymandering issue has come to light because of what Texas is doing. Texas is redistricting or gerrymandering mid-cycle, okay? Not during the 10-year census that comes out every 10 years. And then, of course, what California has said that they're going to do, and they put it on the ballot, is that they're going to allow voters, Prop 50, if you're a Californian, they're going to allow voters to see if they're going to also do redistricting in the middle of the cycle. So now you have Utah, and you have a court finding Utah Republicans, what they did, gerrymandering, to be illegal. Now, the reason why it's illegal, and you might ask yourself, well, why is it illegal in some states, or why is some gerrymandering illegal and some gerrymandering perfectly fine? Well, that has to do with the fact that some states have independent or nonpartisan commissions that oversee, either they oversee the redistricting every 10 years, or they do it themselves. And the reason for this is because voters want, look, gerrymandering is always done by the side that is going to lose. If not, you wouldn't gerrymander, right? So some voters have decided to create or put these commissions in power so that one side is not skewed, okay? In Utah, this very commission exists, which means this non-partisan commission exists, which means that Utah voters said, hey, we want our votes to count as best and as equally and as factually accurate as possible. So we have this commission. What lawmakers did is they circumvented this commission in Utah and drew their own maps. So now a judge is finding that this is obviously fucking illegal and is ordering them to do this, to redraw the maps accurately before the 2026 election. So this could be a blow to Republicans in the 2026 election because they are likely going to be on the losing end of this redrawing of the maps. Now, of course, can lawmakers in Utah just drag their feet? Yes, they can. Could they just drag their feet and maybe it'll happen before the 2028 election? Yes, they can. But the judge has said they need to have it done before the 2026 election. Okay, now why is this illegal there, but for example in California, they're trying to do the same thing, and California has a voting commission that oversees this. Well, on the ballot, Prop 50, which is November 4th, if you're a Californian and you want your voice heard, November 4th is the day to do it. What that Proposition 50 or Prop 50 is doing is temporarily suspending the voting commission to allow redistricting mid-cycle. So they are putting it before voters' hands, California is, to allow voters to choose whether or not to redistrict, to suspend the voting commission, which is likely going to cost Republicans at least 5 seats in California to counter the seats lost in Texas. So now you know what's going on in Utah, California, and Texas. So if this was informative, please consider subscribing. This is my Yap About Anything channel, my unqualified opinion, and I'm about to give you my unqualified rant. But before I do that, if you want my qualified opinion, that's on my main channel. It's just my name, and that is a very narrow field. It's finance, economics, investing. My formal education is in finance, and I have like over a decade of experience in finance and investing. So if you want my qualified opinion, it's over there. We talk about Federal Reserve, economics, interest rates, all kinds of stuff. But here, I'm going to yap about anything. So if this was informative, please consider subscribing. It's hard to grow on YouTube. Okay, now my rant. Okay, I think this is all fucking bullshit. I think this entire issue is fucking bullshit. Okay, the fact that we do not have a nationwide commission, a nonpartisan, bipartisan, or non-political commission that oversees how districts are basically how redistricting happens every census is absolutely fucking stupid. And lawmakers, get the fuck on board and get this passed. Now, in my opinion, one of the main reasons this hasn't happened is because because you need Congress It's the same reason why we don't have term limits for Congress. You need Congress to vote for their own end of their careers. Because you need Congress to vote to instill term limits, which will end their own careers. That's why it never happens. When it comes to redistricting, it's both sides. Because if you have a nonpartisan commission that oversees redistricting every 10 years for the entirety of the country, you are going to have both Republicans. It'll be more Republicans because there are many studies that show that Republicans gerrymander more. Because if this was just a popular vote, it would be very difficult for Republicans to win anything. Okay? With that said, there are plenty of Democrats who would also lose their jobs because they would be voted out if redistricting was done in a nonpartisan fashion with an overseer, a nonpartisan overseeing commission. You'd have both Republicans and Democrats lose seats, which means lose their job. So the reason this hasn't happened is because it is difficult to basically tell the people who are going to fucking lose their jobs to vote for the loss of their jobs. So, and it blows my fucking mind that, look, I think that the founders did a great job, okay? But originally, we didn't have presidential term limits, right? That had to be voted in. And of course, why was that voted in? Well, because the president didn't vote for it. You had Congress pass the amendment that stopped terms at 2 terms, right? So you didn't have them voting for the end of their own job. But we didn't have that. We also don't have congressional term limits. Yes, you have to be reelected, but the way the Constitution is written, you could just be reelected over and over and over again. Okay? Washington kind of stepped down after George Washington stepped down after 2 terms and kind of made it a tradition. But we had a president. I believe it was. Let me Google. I think it was. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna check. I think it was Roosevelt. Okay, I'm gonna check. It was Roosevelt. I was right. Look at me, pat myself on the shoulder. We have had a president who served more than 2 terms. He served 3 terms, although I believe he passed relatively soon under his 3rd term. The fucking point of this rant is that it's difficult to have people vote for the end of their own careers, and being a politician was never meant to be a career choice. We have politicians who have made it a career choice. Like lifelong politicians. No, it was supposed to be a civic fucking duty. You were supposed to have your job, your career, whatever you were, and then you come and you serve your country, and then you get out. It wasn't meant to be a career choice. With that said, come on, founding fathers. Like, maybe you should have set term limits to begin with. Whatever. They did a pretty damn good job when it comes to the Constitution, and it has saved us multiple times. With that said, here's my rant, and I'm going to end it here. We need an overseer, a nonpartisan fucking overseer that sees how this how this redistricting is done every census, and on top of that, all the data that they use needs to be fucking public. Will that ever happen? Probably not, unfortunately. Which means that we're going to be stuck with this bullshit gerrymandered back and forth fucking fight for many, many more election cycles, because the Constitution got some stuff right, and it got some stuff fucking wrong. And I'm not going to put any hope in my politicians to do the right thing. But there you go. There's my rant. If you like basically me ranting about what I think is important, then you're in the right place. Please consider subscribing. If you want my actual qualified opinion, that's on the main channel. We do videos there weekly, sometimes more, and it's all finance-based. This is my unqualified opinion. I hope this was informative as well. With that said, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Could be tomorrow, could be next week, could be next month. It's whenever there's something important that we need to talk about. Take care.